Our next event will be the men's steeplechase.
A best of 27 feet 3/4 of an inch.
With a great field of 8 athletes, the world record 8:05.35 set this year by Peter Koech in Stockholm, Sweden. The American mark 8:09.17 by Henry Marsh back in 1985. The meet record 8 minutes 21.79 seconds. And here is your field from the Athletics West Track Club. The 84 bronze medalist in this event, Brian Diemer. Next to him will be Ivan Huff from Reebok, 30 years old. That makes him somewhat ancient. In lane 3 will be Aaron Ramirez with the Nike Track Club, a graduate of the University of Arizona with a best of 8 minutes 32.8 seconds. Next to him will be Venezuelan athlete Rafael Colmenares. Dan Aldridge will start in lane 5, running unattached, next to Captain Andy Klemas of the Air Force. Jim Ortiz, a UCLA senior, will be in lane 7, next to Brian Abshire of Athletics West, a 1986 graduate of Auburn University, and a great California schoolboy runner. He'll be one of the crowd favorites in this one, Larry.
Well, these athletes will probably run about a minute faster than the first time this event was contested in the Olympics in 1924. There you're looking at Brian Diemer right there. The Olympic time record was 9:33. Diemer has run 8 minutes and 16 seconds this year, a minute and a quarter faster than the Olympic record in 1924. Diemer has told me earlier he's very, very fit. He's looking forward to the second half of the European season. He's heading over tomorrow to compete in a number of races over in Europe in the second half of the season.
Diemer and Abshire, I would guess, got to be the early favorites in this event. And before we get it underway, let's correct Roger Kingdom's time in the 110 highs, 13.22 officially, followed by Tony Campbell at 13:34 and Emilio Valle at 13:68.
There you see
Abshire from Athletics West.
That was Abshire on the outside, just leaning over and saying a prayer before he got off the mark here. Abshire, a very gifted 3,000-meter runner on the flats and also on the track. There you see the new world best that was set by Peter Koech as he eclipsed a longtime standard of Henry Rono in the race of 8:05. Diemer has the fastest time this year.
And that was set in the same race that Koech set the record this year. There's the all-time list. You see Koech with his 8:05.35, followed by Henry Rono of Kenya way back in 1978. The magic summer of 78 for Henry Rono when he set 4 world records in the space of a couple of months. Kariuki and Sen.
4 of the top 5 for Kenyans. It says a great deal about living at altitude and the great gift that they have and the hard training that they put in. Many of them running from very young ages to school, sometimes as much as 12 miles back and forth to school they go. From grammar school on. There's Abshire. The man ran 7:41 indoors for an American record last year, and that equates out to about a 4:09 mile and then another one at 4:09. So he's very gifted at this distance he's running. He was on our Olympic team, took 3rd in our trials to qualify. I'm sorry, he won our trials. It was Diemer in your picture right there who took 3rd at the Olympic trials last year. There's Ivan Huff wearing number 2.
Your field once again, Diemer, Huff, Ramirez, Colmenares, Aldridge, Klemas, Ortiz, and Abshire. Be interesting to watch Abshire from the outside. Will he charge to the front? Apparently not. He's going to settle in 5th position as the field hits the first hurdle. Not a good word to use, hitting the first hurdle, clearing the first hurdle.
You hit this thing and it's all over. These things are a little thicker than railroad ties and they don't move, nor do the railroad ties we see on the beds of the railroad. But I want to tell you, I competed in this event. I hit a couple of those hurdles in my day, and it is a frightening thought. A very motivating thought also is the water jump. They will attack that 7 times in the race. There you see Huff, number 2, as he controls the race right now.
Make it Huff and Dan Aldridge in the red up front. Followed closely, I got Diemer running in 3rd. Now they'll run straight off the track. Depending on where you are, you'll find the steeplechase water jump either inside or outside the track. And Larry, I don't know if any of these athletes have a particular preference. I think I'd like to go outside and make the turn a little bit less sharp.
Well, when you come around, then you have less distances, and they don't tell you have 8 laps to go. It's a shorter distance, of course, the laps that you run here. If you go outside the track. I found the water jump particularly difficult to master. You might watch that as these guys come in. The distance from the edge of the water to the end of the water, and it's about 2.5 feet deep at the hurdle itself, is 12 feet. So there's no way you really can clear the entire obstacle. But it is an important part of the training here, Bob.
Got in over your head, did you?
No, but I fell in once.
All right, as Ivan Huff continues to lead in the early going here in the men's steeple, we'll come back to it. And don't forget, long jump information coming your way, $500,000 for a world record. Meanwhile, back on the track, bell lap in the men's steeplechase, Aaron Ramirez, 25 years old, leading Brian Diemer.
7:29 with a lap to go. Diemer in excellent shape and with a much better personal best by about 15 seconds over Ramirez, who's running very strongly. Watch to see what Diemer does down the home stretch.
Diemer right now shadowing Aaron Ramirez, whose PR is 8:32.80. He's in good position to improve on that right now with a good final lap. But he is up against one of the best America has ever produced in Brian Diemer.
Diemer lacks raw sprint speed. He can hold on to a pace very well, but he shouldn't have something left on this as they approach the last water jump. Look at him take the lead there.
Diemer with an explosive move over the water jump. Ramirez can only hope to respond, breaking into a sprint. But Diemer sets his jaw. The 1989 national champion draws away over the final hurdle. We'll try to get you an unofficial time as he crosses the line. Aaron Ramirez putting up a great battle. Brian Abshire is going to be third. I make it 8:34.54 unofficially for Brian Diemer with a great steeple.
A good workout. He didn't want to go any faster than he had to. He said that yesterday. He said, whatever the pace is, I will respond, but I don't want to take the lead early. I want to just work on my sprint finish because that's what I'm going to need when I get to Europe.
8:34.7 for Brian Diemer over Aaron Ramirez and Brian Abshire in the men's steeplechase. We're going to take a quick timeout and bring you back for more live track and field from Los Angeles after this. Here are your unofficial results in the steeplechase. Brian Diemer, a landscape designer from Grand Rapids, Michigan, wins at 8:34.7 over Aaron Ramirez and Brian Abshire.